right, friends. I was feeling a little nosy, and so I thought it would be kind of interesting to do a reading about what's going on with Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, etc., etc. Because sometimes I'm just nosy and I got to know what's going on. So I'm going to use a technique that used to be called in the tarot circles where I was, used to be called, excuse me for this, the gypsy style. I understand that word is problematic, and we don't want to be problematic. Please, I don't want to be problematic. So I'm going to call it, how I was sort of introduced to it, as Nonna's style, grandmother style. You can call it whatever you want. A really good example of a reader who reads in this style is Aphrodite, who also does pop culture stuff. So I love his channel. I'm a huge fan of his channel. I love his vibe. I love his style. So I thought I would do a sort of Aphrodite Nonna style reading, because this is a good technique for when you're like, the conversation might grow and we might need more information. So I am going to be using the Pulp Tarot. I love this deck, and it seems really good. I mean, I'm talking a celeb gossip, like, come on. You know, it's the perfect deck. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay 3 cards, okay? And then we're going to read 3 cards. So this is a good time to do your 3-card reading skills and our intuitive reading skills. So we see here, we have the 9 of Pentacles, which, you know, this is the diva. This is the high maintenance woman. This could refer, believe it or not, I think to Sean Combs's own ego. I think he's very fragile and he's always felt the need to front, and he's very high maintenance. And we see here the Emperor and Strength here. So we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is basically somebody showing off. She's even got the Maltese Falcon. That's why I love this deck. She's got everything, but she doesn't look happy. So Combs doesn't look happy. And of course, I got to look at this strong woman and think about that woman that we all saw in the summer in that horrible video getting dragged back to the hotel room by Mr. Combs. I shouldn't call him Mr. because I don't have that much respect for him after that kind of thing. That's a strong woman, right? So I think that we have these things flanking the Emperor. This is a guy who is a show of force. One thing he really enjoys is his show of strength, is showing off his wealth. So we have Diddy as sort of like this emperor. He's armed up for the fight. And he wants to show off his stuff. He wants to show like he's got all this power and he's got all of this money. And it all also is about the control of women. All right, let's see where we go from there. Let's throw down 3 more cards here. Oh, we got some swords coming up. This is not necessarily surprising, is it? Swords can mean new troubles. So we have here in the center, we have the 5 of Swords. I'm looking at the red sun and the red in the car, and somebody betrayed him. Somebody made a choice to betray him, and he is also thinking about who he can also twist and betray. I would not be surprised if he started naming names, if he started naming accomplices, showing where he had some kind of evidence. And this, of course, this is going to go fast. Things are only picking up steam. I don't think it's going to be slow. I don't think we're going to have to wait for more news. We're going to get more news all the time. Look at this fast-moving yellow road that is over the head. In the Chariot, we have the white and the black, the ego and the id, right? And in this case, they're sitting in the back seat. So the things that we normally allow to guide our behavior are literally sitting in the back seat. And they're taking a lie to this just need for speed. So people are going to be making rash decisions. He's not in a place to make good, rational decisions. This card, the 2 of Swords, you sit there and go like, I mean, she's holding on to her problems. She's blocking herself, holding on to her problems, but it's so easy. All she has to do is put the frickin' swords down, right? All she has to do, the problem becomes very clear once you finally take action to put those swords down. If you don't put those swords down, you're never going to see clearly. All right. See what else we got. Okay, that's a good one. The Six of Swords. And then, okay, I am honestly not surprised it took this long. Okay, the Page of Wands is a messenger card. And that often means that there is a message. So we'll pull this. We're just going to lift this for a moment to make sure, because that's the one who brings in a message. But the Page of Wands is also, wands are fire. Page is a young person who's just starting out. So it sounds like we might have somebody who's very new, who's very gung-ho here. Somebody who is very fire signy, who wants to make things happen. And we see this sort of salamander, this fire energy under their feet. And this is a woman. I'm kind of curious if we have any women on the prosecution team, because somebody has it in for him. Somebody in the legal team wants to make their name. The Six of Swords, we got this card. I always read the Six of Swords differently than everybody else, but this one is even more different. We're sailing in the dark, and everywhere we go, there's no ground we can land on. We can't pull this boat into a safe harbor. Everywhere we go, it's swords. So Mr. Combs is feeling adrift in this boat, and he's going in the dark, and he's looking and looking and looking, and none of his friends are answering his phone calls. We can see the prison bars in this as well, right? There is no place and no one he can turn to that can give him some solid, stable ground at this point. And then, of course, this one, again, not at all surprised that the devil showed up, because in this deck, we even have the enslaved woman and the enslaved man. When we think about those so-called freak-offs, that's the devil in action. And I think somebody said, I hate to say it was Kanye, because I'm not a big fan of Kanye, but Kanye or some other famous rapper said that he always... It couldn't have been Kanye. It was somebody. They said that they always left parties a half hour before Diddy would show up, because they said, that man's the devil. That man, he enslaves people to him. All right, so let's see what we got here. Our Five of Wands. Okay, interesting. The King of Cups. And then the King of Wands. All right, so the King of Cups... I did do a little spying into his just basic astrology. He is a water sign. Diddy is a Scorpio, which would make him a water sign. So when we look at this card, we can say that this is one time when it might represent the person himself. And here he is. He's got this cup, but when you hold your cup that way, it can't hold anything. You know what I mean? And like when we think about the card underneath it, we've come to land, we've got no resources left. He's got the suit that he stands in, he's got the shirt on his back, but he doesn't have anyone else. So the King of Cups here, and if I had reversed this deck, this might be even, this is one where I kind of like the idea of reversals, because you could see that. We have the fish jumping out of water, somebody is jumping ship, if you will. So he's still standing in a boat, he hasn't made it to land yet, and he's looking with his empty cup. He doesn't know where to go. He's got nothing left. And when we look at the Five of Wands and the King of Wands flanking him, I love this Five of Wands card because of the costuming, because it's a pulp deck. They're all dressed like they're from different pulp genres, which just enhances the meaning of the card so much. So like this guy looks like he's from a space adventure. This one, she's like from a military story. He looks like he's straight out of a frontier novel. She's dressed like a sexy secretary. I mean, like, they're not even from the same genre. They're not even, that have any common ground. So they're all jumping in to attack, and maybe they're serious and maybe they're not, but nobody else can tell what anybody else's motives are. So there's a lot of chaos and confusion. I think people are scrambling right now. People are trying to look to their own interests, and they're not willing to join forces to go, just they're not they're working on, they're not even working on plea deals. I was going to say that, but no, they're not even working on deals. They're so busy scrambling and trying to point fingers and trying to attack everybody else behind the scenes that there's not right now a coordinated attack, because they're all attacking each other instead of the King of Cups. So he's found his ground, he's found his land. He doesn't have any resources, but he's still smiling because they can't get their shit together to actually make a case against him. And then, of course, we have the King of Wands. This is dramatic. This is a little dramatic. This is kind of like Tower energy, right? This is the King of Wands in that sort of ultimate burn it all down energy. I don't know who this is, but there is somebody who is wearing a crown. I don't know rap well enough to know if that is a possible reference to somebody. But there is somebody who is willing to burn the whole thing to the ground. In fact, it might even be Sean Combs himself. He might be embodying both of these bits of energy where he wants to be the man about town, put on that nice show, the nice suit, the nice clothes, to put himself up as a genteel, guy with a lot of money and resources, but also you cross him and he's going to burn your fucking life down. So that could be something that is making him still smile while this is going on. All right. So when we draw the Page of Wands, because I think this is about all we're going to get, because we keep getting variations of the same story over and over again. I don't see an organized, I was looking to see if I could see like an organized prosecution, more witnesses coming forward, or Mr. Combs attempting to escape, or any sort of legal shenanigans. I kind of have his mental state and like the backstory. So I think this is about as far as this reading's going to go. When you draw the Page of Wands, this is often called the messenger card, and you can draw a card to say, well, what's the message? What's the message? So in addition to being a Page of Wands, somebody new, an apprentice, the starting energy of somebody embodying this, bringing this sort of staff to this deserted, desolate place, bringing life there. We have the message itself, which is there are more, Ace of Swords, pretty self-explanatory. There are more troubles on the horizon for Mr. Combs, which is a wonderful cliffhanger, right? So when we take a look at this reading, and again, this is a good little, look at the sort of what I'm going to call the Nonna Style. We sort of lay 3 cards down, read those 3 cards, lay 3 more cards down, lay 3 more cards down until you feel like you've gotten enough of the story here. I drew about 16 cards. This is a conversational style of reading where you look at each and you sort of pull what you can out of them, which allows you to sort of have a free-flowing conversation where each card can, interact with the other cards as much as we want it to. We're going to notice, I'm just going to pull these out too to just do one more thing, which is to do our overall looksy-pooksy, if you will, of what we got. So let's count our major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We got 4 major arcana. So this is a big thing. And they're the Emperor, Strength, Chariot, and the Devil. And you can make a story of your own about that, right? So we've got 4 major arcana. We got lots of Wands cards, which are the Wands of action, right? Wands are cards of action, things happening, energy, right? And then we have, if we count this one, 4 swords, problems, legal troubles, intellectual decision, betrayal, trying to feel like that you have a place to go. We have 1 pentacle, and we have no cups. We have no cups card. So there is whatever we got going on here. There's fire, there's air, predominate, and then we have no water at all. So there is nothing that's going to be cooling this down. So we can look at these elemental dignities and say, okay, we got lots of fire and we got lots of air, little tiny bit of earth, no water. There's no emotion. There's no love, and when we say emotion, we mean like generally the positive ones, not anger. There's no love. There's no compassion. I don't see anybody coming out of the woodwork to stand by their man, anything like that. So, can't really tell what the future brings, but it seems like we kind of know a little bit about what's up. We know who he is. We know that things are going to be happening. We know that he feels pretty homeless. And right now the case isn't really forming against him, because he is vindictive. Maybe they're afraid to come out, but also he is at that point where he looks like he's sitting pretty, but maybe he's not. So stay tuned. I don't know if you like pop culture readings. I like them. Sometimes I just like to snoop. I don't like to snoop on private citizens. To me, celebrities are allowed, because they are by nature of being celebrities, sort of public citizens. I'm also nosy. Who doesn't love it? Anyway, so maybe you learned a little bit about the Nonna technique. Maybe you got something out of this reading. I don't know. I'll see you in the next one. I just wanted to give you a little something to play with for the week.